listening to WhoYaWit, WhoYaWit,
The mother podcast.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of WhoYaWit, the podcast. My name is Gordon Briscoe, just a player with an opinion. My co-host is not here with me today. I'm solo dolo with the guy, the myth, the man himself. We got Kenif Muse in the building, man. Give it up for Kenif Muse. Damn, man. We finally get a chance to talk.
Right.
Damn, how long, well, first, let me just start off by saying, for the people that may not know Kenif, this guy has one of the best sounds around. Like, definitely in the tri-state area, but we're talking about within the music. We're going to get into some of his credits and stuff later on. But outside of that, the guy sings, engineers, raps good as hell. The nigga pretty much does everything. Entrepreneur. We just had a conversation. You haven't had a job in 7 years outside of just working for yourself. You've worked with a lot of people. I feel like you were very instrumental in building a scene that's around here right now. So, yeah, give it up for Kenif Muse, man. What's going on?
Thank you.
Glad to have you, man.
I'm glad to be here, man.
Good. You don't talk too damn much.
No, I don't. I like to listen. I mean, that's why I got in the field. You know what I mean?
So, one thing that kind of I picked up on, like a lot of producers just like chilling. Like, y'all know y'all gotta leave, right? Y'all know y'all can't just stay. A lot of producers, the engineers, y'all just stay in the studio.
Yeah, I get that a lot. You know what? It comes from, I guess, like, you remember the times when you weren't called upon for your work and stuff like that, or you didn't get the light right then and there. Right. So you remember those times. So it's just like, no, I'm gonna take advantage of the moment and just keep working, and then before you know it, work comes natural. Going out is just like.
Right,
you know what I mean?
You just created your own world like around that. We have conversations before. I respect you because you always respected my opinion and my honesty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked before about just you dropping a project, you putting out songs, you putting out just more music for the people because your music is phenomenal. And I think everybody knows that. I think the music speaks for itself. But we're in such a period and point of time in music where that's just like such a small part.
Very small
big
at this point.
Thing. So I even saw, last week and then today, Big Kenny.
Big Ken.
Yeah, man. Damn. So just talk about how you came up with that.
Well, it came from me and Ant have a song that's out now. It's on SoundCloud. It's called On Some Shit. It came from us coming up with the idea and the concept for the video, which should be dropping soon. It came from that because we were just throwing ideas back and forth, like, yo, well, what should we do for the video? I was like, well, I want to do something different. I don't want to do something super serious because up to this point, as far as like my music career, everything I do is like super serious. Right. It's R&B music. It's like...
It's just a one-sided representation of you.
Exactly, and I don't want the people to get the perception of me just being like super serious and sad. Right. Like, I'm light-skinned, but still.
Sad niggas link up, man.
Right. So me and Ant, we sat down and we busted up. I was like, well, why don't we dress up for the video? We can do like costume makeup or whatever. Mm-hmm. And... we just, I forget who came up with the idea to dress up as old men. And the day we were supposed to shoot the video, it rained. So I was just like, I'm going to just dress up because we're just going to shoot the video another day. I just want to see what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And the camera came on. I had a face full of old man makeup. And it was just from there on, I was just like, yeah, Big Ken. That's it.
Nah, that turned into something dope. And I was talking to Don Michael Jr. earlier. He was in the studio earlier. And we just was talking about how it's just more than music, and he used you as an example. Like, yo, like that's it. Like that's the shit that I need to be on. That's the shit that everybody else kind of has to play a part on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So even with your relationship with the whole Southside movement, You got,
Oh my gosh, shout out to Southside.
You got Ish, you know, you got Shakir, you got Kev, you got, of course, Mary Fontaine, who's, y'all have collaborated on some, like, really dope, like, legendary shit. I don't care what nobody else says, but from here is legendary shit. So, what made you pair up with them? And like, what's, like, the magic between you and the whole Southside camp?
Okay, so it's because we're all from Jersey. You know what I mean? Everybody knows everybody. But sorry, we can go a couple years back when I was shooting videos. Me and Ant actually shot the Mary Jane video for Ish. It's Ish. I think it's Ish's song featuring Mir. A couple years back, we shot that video, and that's how I actually met them. So I basically met them doing video work. They didn't even know. I think they didn't even know I had a studio back then, because at that time I was working with just Ant. As far as like Jersey artists are concerned, because I already had my own studio by that time in Philly. We started working, just doing regular studio work, and I think we just worked on a couple records. Then Mir came to me to do a project, which was Who's Watching the Kids at the time, and we just started working on that. And you know what I mean? I'm big on things happening organically. So like nothing was really planned. It's not like we were like, yeah. I mean, granted, once the music started coming out, we're like, yeah, all right, Southside, we're all from Jersey, blah blah blah, this and the third. So I guess that's when you can call it an official plan. But there was really no plan. It was just a bunch of kids linking up, doing music. You know what I mean? Just working. And they like family at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, y'all always, and you know, y'all always create some like magical shit. Like I said, whenever your tag is on it, it's like, nigga, like people really gotta tune in, and that's just on the production side.
Right.
Even your studio, Mindful Sound, y'all was like, I actually got tired of your studio for like one whole summer. Everybody decided to have whatever album or play whatever was coming out that summer. It was at his studio. So I've actually, this studio last week, we had the listening party.
Yeah, for Don Michael Jr.
It was hot as hell in here.
It was
I'm mad I just remember this.
It was hot.
You had some times when we talking about 100 people. 100 people in your studio.
Yeah, it was. I don't
not move.
Yeah, it was a couple. I think it was Ish's and Mir's listening party where we had. It was like getting like 60 plus and people inside and outside. Yeah,
you cannot move at all. Like literally cannot move.
Dumb hot.
I feel like you've cultivated like your own following, your own vibe, and probably that's how your sound came about too, where people just come to you for, you know, to put their finishing touches or to get your juice and you know, just throw it on their track a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, working doing studio work. See that like the misconception is that I got my studio like during the course of working with Southside, but I had already been working within the city, the tri-state area. I was working probably like at least 4 years before that, or no, it was probably 5 years, because I worked at a studio in Frankfurt in Philadelphia for like 3+ years, and then I came to my own studio. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. I always wanted to open a studio in Jersey, which I'm in the process of trying to do right now. But I couldn't find a job.
Right.
You know what I mean? I couldn't find studio work. So a friend of mine actually found the ad on Craigslist to work in Philly. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go over there, just try it out. I went over there. I'm like, yo, I never engineered professionally before. Give me a shot. Like I record people out of my house to the point where I had to like stop telling people, yeah, I'm done recording people, because it's like the police are starting to pull up in front of my house because they think I'm doing something other than recording music. It ain't even that type of deal. You know, so I'm like, yeah, just give me a shot. And I want to say, like, not even a month, I became the head engineer.
That's dope.
So, like, this is, like, what I'm getting at is it all comes from, like, caring about the music first. Like, it's always been, all right, I'm just trying to, like, it doesn't matter who I'm stepping in there with. I'm just trying to get the best out of that in particular person. So, it's just, like, now, that's what you hear. That's what you basically hear with everybody that I work with. You know what I mean? I just try to get the best out of everyone.
What made you go from, I guess, you were a videographer. Like, what was that experience like, and like, why did you choose?
I wouldn't say a videographer. I was just shooting a couple videos and editing videos. Like, I was like, at that time, I think when I shot that video, I had just got in my place, my own studio at the time. So I was still like, I had shot a couple videos and edited a couple videos for a couple people, but I just don't like the turnaround time. It's like, for me, it's just like, I want to work now and get all the shots done. And, you know, like working with a budget and with an artist, you don't always get to be like 100% creative. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're very limited. Not to say that like money is an issue with creativity, but like sometimes it's drawn, like the time and everything like that. So that's the only part where I like to step back from. It's just like, shout out to them, to the videographers. 'Cause I don't know how they do it.
All of them kind of act the same. They're very distant, like, and cold, to the point where I know a lot of videographers where you have to call them hundreds of times in order to get your like, it's always like that. Like, I know multiple people that's like that. A-Rod, you like that?
Come on, man. Come on.
I don't have that issue with A-Rod, man.
Nah, yeah, he's
I call A-Rod once. Matter of fact, A-Rod called me. Like,
yeah, I was just about to say that.
He calls me more than I call him.
He's a different breed. He's always proactive with everything. Like, I'm trying to do this. Da-da-da-da. And then, next thing you know, it gets done. So even, you know, seeing your work through the internet, it's like, damn, the nigga had mad progression in such a short amount of time.
Exactly.
Where, you know, he doing shit for you, and I'm like, oh shit, like, this shit is like super dope. Like, shout out to this nigga.
Yeah, he definitely has an eye. He doesn't have an eye for what he does, man.
And so,
appreciate y'all.
Nah, no problem, man. So with the production and stuff like that, with the music, run down a list of just like who's you been credited on, like.
Well,
because
all the South Side.
Okay.
I started working with Ant like early on, like SoundCloud days, before he released any mixtapes and stuff like that. Ant's my guy.
He's dope too.
He's freaking genius. Way past like all the music shit. Like, I've known Ant for a while now. Like, and we recorded out of my crib, like, before I had my own studio and stuff like that. We can just go through Jersey. So there's, you know, Mir from Southside, everybody from Southside. Get Right Sour. I'm just trying to Frankie Hill. This is engineering. We talking engineering credits or production credits?
Man, all of it, man. Cause I've been told some stuff. I'm gonna see if you gonna name it, and then you can just say if it's true.
What's stuff? I'd rather you say it. What stuff?
I'm trying to be sneaky with my information.
I'm like, hold on. That's what matter of fact, I'm gonna stray away from your question real quick, cause I hear so many stories about me. Not even plugging y'all through Solid. We not gonna do that.
The myth, man. The myth.
I hear so many stories about me, and I'm like, that's not true.
Alright, so Tory Lanez?
Not yet. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Not yet. We not yet.
I feel like that's a yes. He just don't want to break the news here.
No. I say not yet. But I don't have any big industry placements yet. Everything is homegrown. Like, everything is in-house or working with everybody, like local people. I've recorded a lot of people out of Philadelphia. Like, as far as Philadelphia is concerned, I recorded everybody but Beans in State Property, but that was like when I was working in a different studio. Right. Let me try to think. Who else did I record? Well, everybody in State Property. So.
I see you working with Drama now too.
Drama. He comes. I haven't mixed anything of his. Everything's like featured based stuff. Okay. But shouts out to Drama. He's cool peoples. Fat G's. I've recorded like 2 of his mixtapes. Why am I drawing a blank right now? I'm trying to think of who else.
Spot, man.
No, it's not even put. I mean, it's just because like some people I don't record anymore because of the demand now. It's like I keep my regulars, and then like every now and then when somebody can't get into their like home studio, they'll hit me up. So then I'll be, you know what I mean, plugged in with them. But I try like right now I'm like in full artist mode. I kind of like fell back from all the engineer work unless it's like Unless it's like I don't even
Right.
want to say no names because then everybody's gonna get mad at me. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's playing favorites, and it's just not. It's not that.
If he not picking up, you just not one of them guys.
Oh my
you
God.
just not one of them guys.
I put my foot in my mouth for this interview. I already know it.
He's sending you right to A-Rod, ain't that right?
No. We not gonna get A-Rod handles everything music. I don't need nobody going to his DM like, yo, I need to book studio time.
A-Rod gonna be squaring up in a few, man.
Right.
Squaring up. Does labels, just speaking in general, does having a record label, having a record deal matter at this point?
No, absolutely not. Because I feel like they don't do anything. I mean, just based off of working with people that have deals or what have you, it's just like a lot of this stuff falls on their team at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You find like artists, they'll get signed and you're doing the majority of the work. They're just taking their percentage. You know what I mean? And they're talking about like distribution when there's really no distribution. Everything's stream wise. So it's like just to put it on their on the platforms, they're charging you for it. So it's that right there to just let you know like, yo, I can just be doing this shit on my own unless, you know what I mean? Unless you're trying to get to the next the next step. Like I'm talking about like being out there as a star. I would say, then you should negotiate with labels, but then it's more or less like a partnership, not so much signing to the label. They're dictating your every move because you look at now like everything, you can do everything from your house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the majority of the records that you see that pop, they're not done in like big studios. They might be mixed in big studios or what have you, or somebody that's more knowledgeable behind the boards. But at the end of the day, a lot of the records are done at home.
I mean, how for the artists that may be listening, how do you try to get to that point though where your record is actually moving? Because you have records that's actually moving. You've produced records that are actually moving, getting 1 million streams. So like, how does that happen? Because everybody do record and everybody has the same outlets, but there's really no traction behind everybody.
I feel like it's consistency is one major part. You know what I mean? If you're not consistent and in people's faces enough, I mean, you look at somebody like 6ix9ine. He's saying the most craziest shit ever.
Shout out to Teens Audio.
He's saying the most craziest stuff ever, and he's in your face, and he just keeps putting out content. You know what I mean? I feel like consistency is one thing, and then having a really firm team, like a really strong team behind you. You know what I mean? Build a team full of people that aren't just gonna tell you yes all the time.
Right.
I'm like really big on that. Like, if one person's in the room, everybody agrees, and one person in the room is like, I don't think that's a good idea, then you might not have to take his word for it, but you might have to take it into consideration of what he's actually saying, because he might be right.
A lot of artists are sensitive when it comes to that though. Like I've only met probably about 2 or 3, and you're one of them, where they could take a no or they could take a and when I say stuff, it never comes from a bad place. Like I don't think it's hard for people that are good at making music to make bad music. It's just, yo, I know you could do better on that. More something like that. It was an artist, I'm not gonna say his name. He had a record with somebody else, and this was a terrible record. Now I've heard records before that, and it's like, yo, like, dude, kind of dope. Like I get it. I get why people are going to shows and streaming and stuff.
Right.
And the first time I met him was at a show, and I said, yo, what's good? I'm such and such. He was like, oh yeah, I know, because of a couple people, we got mutual friends. And I said, yo, that record you just put out. He was like, yeah. I said, why did they let that come out?
Yo!
I said, yo, like, dog, like, I listened to your stuff. I said, you are dope. That record, not dope. And he was like, man, like, it was a few people that wanted me to put that out, so I just put it out. But later on, when I got a chance to finally interview him, he said, like, yo, like, he, like, looked like a lot of emotions ran through his body, and he just was like, damn, I kind of can't be mad at the nigga, because I feel like that, too. Like, I don't like the record, but he got balls for telling me he don't like the record. So he just, he definitely fucked with me off of that. But a lot of artists are definitely sensitive.
I think as an artist, you have to have thick skin, period.
Especially now.
Granted, you're dealing with a lot. Like if you're that kind of artist, you deal with a lot of personal stuff within your music. So I can understand if you feel some type of way, but I feel like you definitely have to have thick skin, and that's why I say having good people on your team. To be honest with you, all the time is probably like one of the best things I could tell people. Only because it's like for me, it happened early on when I first started doing music. I became friends with Hot Man. You know what I mean? Shouts out to him.
Mad Shoulders.
That's
his AKA.
Yeah, he doesn't skip leg day though. He doesn't skip leg day. So you gotta be careful.
I just try not to look at his calves or nothing like that. Gotta stay away from that.
Yo. So, but yeah, like the reason why I was mentioning his name is because he's always honest. I mean, you see him credited on a lot of my records, and he like it could. A matter of fact, my upcoming project, we were getting ready to put out a different version of it. It was a room full of us. We go through all the records. Hot Man is quiet the whole time. Mind you, I work way ahead of what I'm planning on putting out. So we were working on this project because we already have 3 projects already done. So he's like, it gets dead quiet after we play records because everybody's looking at him. We ask everybody in the room. Everybody's like, yeah, it's hot. This hot. This is my favorite song. Blah blah blah. Hot Man looks down. He's like, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's trash. And like at first, like, mind you, there isn't anything he could say to surprise me at this point because we've been friends for it's getting closer to like 9 years.
Right.
So it's just like I can't really be surprised. He said everything to me at this point, but it was just shocking. And we're in a room full of people. He's like, yeah, it's trash. And I'm like, I guess he could see it on my face. He was like, let me rephrase that. It's not trash like how, everybody says it. He's like, I'm just saying to your standard.
Right,
in comparison to everything you've put out thus far, and then everything we plan on putting out afterwards, it's trash.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah? Like, you really think it's trash? And he's like, yeah, bro. And I kind of felt some type of way about it. Right. Like, I really did. It might have been because I was drinking Henny, but I felt some type of way about it. I'm like, absolutely. But I felt some type of way about it, and, like, he, like, then left, like, probably, like, 20 minutes after that, because it was, like, tension in the room, because now it's, like, we were planning on putting this out. I think this was back in, like, early June. We were planning on putting that out instead of Breakup Playlist. So I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm going to do. I literally sat quiet while everybody in the room's talking. I'm playing other stuff. I'm like, damn, he left. Then everybody else left. Now I'm sitting in the studio by myself. So I'm listening back to the records, and I'm like, damn, he really think this shit is trash? But it took that. I sat and didn't talk to anybody for like 2-3 days about my music. And and then I made like the most fire song that I have made in the longest time. Like the second night, I'm like, all right, this is what he's talking. I sent it to him. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then we ended up redoing all the songs. Like every last song that was on the original list for this project is about to come out. We redid the whole thing.
That's dope.
Front to back, and I have him to thank. So when y'all hear this fire I'm about to drop.
And definitely shout out to him, because when I was trying to work on something, he sent me over a couple beats. I think they still might be put to use. You understand that?
Okay.
I think I got mad bars. I'm dissing A-Rod and all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, you got diss everybody. Come record it with me.
All right, because Trax won't let me record with him, man. Trax a hater.
What?
Trax a hater, bro.
Man, listen.
Every time I go in there, he be like, yeah, my mic don't work for you. I said, dog.
He said for you.
A nigga just left the booth. Yeah, I mean, it's not working right now. It's not. You got to go somewhere else. But, I definitely think having a strong team is good for no matter what you do. You need the support. You need people that's going to keep it real with you, most importantly. And I'm glad that worked out for you, where you was just able to realize, because you are naturally, you're going to feel some type of way about shit you done crafted. But you was able to put your feelings aside and then be like, all right, let me just get to work. And he ended up bringing the best out of you.
Right.
Which is super dope. But what else did I want to ask Kenneth, man? Because it's a lot that people don't know. It's a lot still I don't know about you, and we've had talks, about damn near everything. You sent me over projects. Speaking of, you just sitting on music. You had 3 or 4 projects done like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Where you literally sit there, it's like, yo, don't play this for nobody, man. Like, don't.
Yeah, I hoard music. I hoard a lot of music.
Don't do that. But yeah, I guess I probably should ask this first. Like, who's Kenif Muse? Whether it's the son, the boyfriend, the fucking the musician. Like, who is Kenif, man?
I'm a kid from South Jersey just trying to make it like everybody else. That's why I say it like that, not to even sound like, oh, he's just trying to be humble or anything like that. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? I don't try to project something that I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm also an adult. That's an adult thing to say. But I just like to work really hard. Like if anybody's gonna tell you anything about me, they're gonna tell you one of my biggest flaws is I'm hard to get a hold of because I rarely answer my phone because I'm always working. And 2 is I'm just like I'm in love with the business, with music. Like music is me. That's who I am as a person.
Hashtag nigga, music is me. You understand?
No, I'm being serious. It's like every day that I wake up, I'm doing music. There's nothing else that I'm doing. Like,
right.
I barely go out. That's what people will tell you. Everybody always makes a big fuss when they do see me out. I'm trying to like work on that. Trying to start taking days off and stuff like that. But no, I'm a kid from South Jersey, raised by a single mother. I tried to go to college for like 2-3 years, and
what happened with that?
School is not for me. I'm one of those people, and I mean that like. I mean that like serious, like it's not for me. Like I've never been a bad student. I like school, but it's just not for me. I have a problem with. It's weird because I have a problem with people telling me what to do, but then I work in a business where people tell me what they want.
Right.
So it's just like,
I guess it's about what you're willing to put, like what you want. That whatever was in school, that's not what you want. So you're not going to tell me what to do because I don't even want to be here.
And then on top of that, it's the knowing what I'm going to do the next day that is like that kind of structure where I know exactly what I'm going to do the following day. It's like it didn't make sense for me to go to school to basically go and work for somebody else in a field where they're just going to teach me how to do whatever I got to do. It's just like to me it's just like redundant. It doesn't make any sense. Why am I going to school for something that you're just going to reteach me at my job and then eventually fire me for somebody younger that you're gonna do? It's just like an ongoing cycle, and I'm like, nah, I'm out. I remember the conversation. One thing I do have is I've always had a very, very supportive mother. I remember I already stopped going to school for like 2 months. Like I was skipping class.
You was one of those.
I was already out of school. She just didn't know it.
Right.
So I like one day it just wore on me because my mom was just asking me. She's like, "So how you doing in school?" She already knew. I had like one day she came home from work and I'm like, "Mom," she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Listen, this ain't working." She was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I want to give music a full shot. Like I just want to do that." And my mom's always been very supportive. The only thing out of her mouth was just, "You sure this is what you want to do?" She's like, I was like, "Yeah." She's like, well, just make sure you have a plan. Because you make sure you got a job.
Right.
You know what I mean? But have a plan and stick to the plan. And just know that it's going to be rough. It's going to be very, very hard. And that you can't give up. If this is what you're going to do, then do it.
Wise words.
And from there on, it's been an uphill battle, but it's been fun.
What age was this?
I was 21, 22, I think. And I was like, I had a security job at that time, and it
just looked like it sucked.
It was. listen, because no, I had a security at that time. I had a security job. I was going to school and I was working at a studio. So it was just like I was already like the work ethic was already there. It just was like spread out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was literally spreading myself thin. So I was just like, all right, I'm falling back from school. Like that's not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. It just doesn't make sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told for me to go full on, I needed the support from my mother. Like my mother, if there's anybody in this world, word that I take into consideration is my mother's and Troy's, the hot man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Those are the two people that I really depend on. Like if their opinions are I hold them very high. So like, if I didn't have her support, I don't think I would have been as like, if I as aggressive as I was. If I didn't have her support, I probably still would have tried to pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had her full support, and I continued to work at the security job, which I really hated. Like, I really... No, bro. Like, the uniform, I wear pants, you could see my socks. It was bad. It was a bad look. I hope nobody ever finds my security picture, like, with my license. You know what I mean? Like, they gonna grind me up. They find that joint. Now you're gonna have everybody on the internet trying to look for that joint. But, yeah, so I worked there up to a point, and then it just... That met its course. And then, eventually, I'd, like, develop, like, all right, every 3 years, I'm going to try to do something different. Every 3 years. Every 2 years. And now it's just like, it's always different. And that's what I found that I like about music. It's never the same. I don't, like today I could be working on an R&B song with somebody and tomorrow I could just be recording people. You know what I mean? Or I could just be making beats or writing songs for somebody else. Not even my own. So that's what I like. It's always different. It's never the same. So it's like waking up to that every morning is just like, oh, it's lit.
Right.
You know?
Actually got this running joke with Night Child that y'all are the same person.
Night Father.
Shout out to Night Child.
That's my guy.
He's
I'm supposed to get up with him tomorrow.
I forgot. I literally.
Yeah.
I'm
that's a brand new.
Yeah.
He definitely is wearing your shirt.
Appreciate you, baby. That's my guy right there. What was I about to say? Oh, so you also have like a different like background, which I was surprised. I just thought you was all black.
Yeah, I get black. I'm half white.
Yeah, I like when I first
I'm Spanish.
how the fuck did I find out about you? I'm not sure exactly how I found out.
Probably tracks.
I think it wasn't even tracks. It was crazy. It wasn't even tracks. I think I was just searching for new music because this is when I just started everything too. I was only like a few months in, so I just was searching for new music, and you came across my page on Twitter. Somehow you came across my page on Twitter, and I listened to what the fuck is the song, man? Why am I forgetting?
Yatu Zave?
Yes, I listened to that, and I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. I left. This is when the room was over there. When I was recording White Mike's over him. Went outside. He's outside smoking. Hopped in his car, plugged my phone up, said, yo, listen to this shit. He's like, yo, who the fuck is this? Da-da-da-da. I'm like, some nigga from around here. Like, I have no clue. The nigga has like 3,000 followers. Like, I don't like, and has like, he's only following back like 200 people. He's somebody. I don't know who the fuck he is, but this shit is dope. So I let that play. I started listening to Ant Bill. Started letting that play. And then probably about 2 days later, I heard tracks playing Yatu Sabe while I'm over in the other rooms.
Wow.
I left that room. I said, dog. He's like, yo, this nigga Kenif, dog. This nigga Kenny, he fired. I said, nigga, I just discovered this nigga. Like, I felt like I discovered this nigga, man. I'm like, this nigga is, like, this shit is wonderful. And then that led on to, you know, just more tracks where I'm just listening, like, yo, this shit is incredible. And even recently, and I'm in here, I forget what I was doing, but I was in here, I might have been cleaning up, and I'm just letting the music play. I was on SoundCloud.
Right.
And I'm just letting it play. I'm not even really paying attention, but I'm finding myself like, God damn, who I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, I go to my computer, nigga, it's you. I say, yo. I forget who I called, but I called somebody immediately. It was like, dog, did you listen to Kenif? Like, go on SoundCloud right now and just play his shit. They're like, all right, I'll do it. I got a call the next day, like, yeah, like that nigga is fire, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, it's different. Like I said, I talked to you the other day. I got you on a playlist with niggas that I feel are phenomenal. Like the nigga Ty Dolla $ign can't miss right now. Jeremiah is amazing right now.
Absolutely.
Eric Bellinger is ridiculous. And with you in there, don't miss a beat. All of this shit is completely fire. So even The breakup playlist, super fire.
Thank you.
I'm just
Thank
happy.
you.
I think everybody's just happy to have music from Kenif Muse, man. That's what I think.
Yeah, they've been getting on me about putting out a full project. So now it's just like
Do you think it's needed?
I don't think so. I can continue to put out 3 songs, 2 songs, but like I want to put out a full project for me. As cliche as that sounds, I really want to put out a project for me because it's just like, since, like you said, the first song you heard of mine was Yatu Save, and then since Yatu Save, I put out a couple hard hitting songs, but for the most part, it's been all R&B. So like now it's just like, somebody, I forget who said it to me. They were like, yo, I like the breakup playlist, blah blah blah. They're like, yo, but why don't you put out something like Yatu Save or My Side or Easy or one of them old songs you used to put out? And I'm like, damn, is it old? It's
right.
old now. So it's just like, yeah, it is old. Yeah. I could start like, putting out like, I guess like more upbeat records. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now is basically I'm gonna put out a full project. Probably in like the 12, no more than 12 songs, and we're just gonna hit them hard. I'm just gonna be very consistent from now until probably we can keep going probably till next summer. At this point, yeah, we gonna go till next summer.
So with the skill set that you do have, being able to sing and being able to rap, like how you just were saying, and you do have people that they like to hear both, is it hard to please people? Because some people may only want to hear you singing or hear the slow songs, and some people want to hear you on upbeat. But some people just don't give a fuck. They just want music. So
I try not to pay attention too much to what like people have to say as far as like what type of music they want from me, because like I feel like at this point where the music is right now, like the music business, you tell people what you want to hear from, like you give out what you want. You know what I mean? You can't please everyone. That's number 1. And then 2, it's kind of hard to pinpoint what is exactly going to be the one for you. You know what I mean? Like, for example, we can go into like just production wise. For Who's Watching the Kids, me doing Down by the River for Mir, right? The original record for Down by the River is not the same song that you hear on this album. I had sent me and Mir had this was way a long time ago before we even put it out. I had sent Mir a beat at a show. I'm like, yo, listen to this. I just made this for you. Like, I know we got a bunch of cuts. At that point, I hadn't produced for anyone. Like, as far as like on the local scene, I didn't produce for anyone. That was like one of the first beats that I just gave to somebody. Like, look, you know what I mean? Just listen to it. And he came to the studio, laid it. And then when it came down to us like mixing the album, that was the last song that we worked on. And when I listened to his whole project, I'm like, it kind of didn't fit. You know what I mean? It's number one, it not that it sounded like everything else, but it didn't stand out. And I'm like, all right, I needed to stand out for me. Like, you know what I mean? Not so much that like, yeah, this is gonna be the one right here.
Right.
But no, I wanted to stand out for me. So I'm going through samples. Cutting through samples. It's me, Mir. And I think he had I think Ish might have been there because we were just cutting through records. Kev was definitely there. And we're just going through records, and I went through this one record, Cutting Close. I played the Cutting Close record. That's the sample that you hear in the beginning. Played that, and I played it over Mir's vocals. And Mir was like, yo, that's hot. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, it's hot. So I pitch it. I think I pitched it up or down or whatever the hell I did, and I started adding drums to it, and it was hot. And then I added I think it was the keys and stuff like that, and it at that time it sounded different. I'm like, all right, it's hot. Right. You know, that's exactly. I was just like, all right, this sounds cohesive with everything else on the record. Right. So when it came down to his listening party, when we were playing all the songs, that came on. And, like, everybody was like, yo, this is dumb hot. Right. Like, this is different, blah, 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 this and the third. And then we put out the project, and it was just crazy. The reception that everybody just liked the song. And like when I first listened to it, I'm thinking, because to date, my favorite song on that project is the intro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That goes up. Even he performs it to this day. Yeah. It's fire. You know what I mean?
That's gonna, no matter where he go in his life, that's a record. Like that's a moment right there.
Absolutely. So it's just like that right there was just like a testament to like, yeah, all right, well basically you can't really dictate what people are going to gravitate to. You just got to be you. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, the people are listening to the music for you. Right. They're not listening for the record per se. They just know that you're very talented, and that you just need to just be consistent. That's why I said consistency. Right. You just got to be consistent because you're gonna get another one if you stay consistent. So
now I asked because it's bigger artists, but like Drake or like Tory Lanez, they seem to like. They almost break their music down into categories instead of just giving it to people sometimes.
I feel like the industry does that. Okay. I don't think it's them. I really don't. I feel like it's not them. You know what I mean? Because you got people that work, like, that goes back to saying having a good team. You know what I mean? They can break it down for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I feel like for the artists themselves, I don't think, they might. You know what I mean? I don't know because I don't work with any of the bigger artists, but like, I don't think they go in it like, yeah, we're going to do this kind of record because this is the kind of records that people want. The industry is going to make you do that. Mm-hmm. If you're not calling all the shots, they're going to be like, yeah, these are the kind of records you need to be doing. But I feel like at this point, especially where music is at, it's like you really can't dictate what's going to be hot. Because look at the it's just like so broad. So many different type of artists are out here making hit records. And some of them sound the same, a lot of them sound the same, but you can have the Kendricks, the J. Coles, and then Drake, and then 6ix9ine, and all these other artists that exist at the same time. So it's kind of like hard for you to dictate what's going to be hot.
It's a lot of people that complain because they feel like it's not like that, where I feel as though it's enough shit out there to go to what you were saying. It's enough stuff out there, it's enough artists where you can literally dictate what you want to hear. Like, there's an artist for anything that you want to hear. You don't have to listen to the radio.
Right. I don't listen to the radio at all. Well, for one, I'm barely in my car. That's the first thing. But, like, I don't listen to the radio. No.
Is it important to be on the radio at this point?
No. Like I said, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's cool, but, like, no.
Right.
You know what I mean? The majority of people that going in their cars and, you know what I mean? Like you said, you heard Yatu Sabe by plugging your... Oh, I was caught up into the car, so it's I'm not listening to the radio.
That's all I needed. I know an artist, he put this up on his Facebook page the other day. I thought it was interesting. I thought he might have had not the wrong perspective, he didn't have the full perspective about the DJ and artist relationship. Basically how DJs don't play their part, they don't break the artist or they don't break records. Like, what's your input on that?
I can see where he's coming from. As far as like if you're trying to see my thing is DJs do play a major role. Mm-hmm. But I feel like at this point they're like, I mean they still do their job. As far as like breaking artists, I still feel they can still break artists at this point. I mean, the internet took a lot from everybody. You know what I mean? As artists, DJs, the radio, everything. So it's kind of like artists are pretty much self-sufficient at this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it did take away from the DJ game, but I still feel like for the local scene, you can still have like a DJ can spin something at a party and you can get fans. You know what I mean? I feel like it's all about perception at this point. Like if you look at it and be like, yeah, screw them over there because they ain't doing their job. Somebody can also look at them like, yeah, they're also busy. So you know what I mean? When my time comes, then that's my time. Or I can be in this person's face until they say okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's all about perception. If you're a negative person, you're gonna look at everything negative. Right. If you're a positive person, you just be like, oh, well, you get with me when you get the chance. Mm. You know what I mean? I feel like it's all about perception.
Yeah, so what I told him was a lot of what you just said. Like I said, it wasn't so much that he was wrong. It just wasn't the other side of the coin.
Right.
Like he just was focusing on the heads. But you, as an artist, it's a lot of artists that don't know how to build relationships. They don't know how to work. They don't know how to give when it's time to give. They always just want.
Right.
And you're a little bit different because you're not just an artist. So you know, naturally, you know how to build a relationship because you have your own business. A lot of these artists, they're going to the club or going to a party and they'll say, yo, spin my record. He's probably got asked that 10 times tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like...
he gonna look at you like, I got you. Tomorrow.
Right. And it's like, yo, or a lie like, yo, like, ain't nowhere to plug nothing in there. Or, yo, I ain't got the internet. You can't send it to my email. Either way, he's going to spin you for you not to do it. And I feel as though a lot of artists don't hold up their end in a relationship like that. So for the artists that may be listening, you have to build relationships.
Yeah,
so instead of going to the DJ booth and demanding something and expecting him just to do it, how about you go up there with some genuine and kind love
Bring
and say,
him a drink.
Exactly. Like,
yo, what's up? My name is blah, blah, blah. Give him a drink and bounce.
That's it.
And then the next time you see him, he going to remember, a boy that came and dropped me a drink. I don't even know who the hell he was.
Exactly. That has people asking questions. You don't even have to tell him the first, the second, or third time you meet somebody, yo, this is what I do. Eventually he's going to ask, like, yo, like, what's up? Who you? Like, you cool? Da-da-da-da. And then it's just going to be off the strength. You only have to put a dime in his pocket. I mean, whether you're going to a party or going to a club or something like that, altogether, if you go there 2 times and that happens, you may have spent $50 in order to get your record played. Where if you just go up to him and press him, he may charge you like $300.
Exactly.
Just so you can get on Snap real quick and
be like, yeah, they playing me in the club. Right. You don't have no type of relationship with this
at
person
all.
whatsoever.
And then on top of that, you don't even tag the DJ in your post. So it's like, who the fuck is like, you don't show him no love. So what I was telling him is the artist gotta reciprocate. Like, they have to dictate what's going on and reciprocate the love that they actually get from the DJs, because there's a lot of DJs that got shitted on.
Absolutely.
A lot of DJs do stuff off the script expecting to, make something happen because of the way the game is set up. DJs need artists.
Absolutely.
They need them. This ain't back in the day where the DJs are featured and then the artist is in the back hyping the DJ up. It's not like that. So it's a lot of even DJs around here that put that effort in and try to do this, and then at the end got nothing in return.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this point, niggas gotta feed their family at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, yeah. It's at the end of the day, people gotta remember also, too, it's a business. Mm-hmm. It's a business. And I feel like the DJs still hold their value in the music business. You know what I mean? They still break artists. They still do a lot for the artists. I mean, if you, like I said, if you... a DJ spinning one of your records at a party, you know what I mean? You might get a couple fans off of that, and they could be a local DJ. They don't have to be one of the top guys that you hear about. You know what I mean? So it's all it is all about trying to make relationships with people and not just make it all business. Right. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just that, like, yo, what's up? Oh, blah blah blah. My name is such and such, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? And then the next time you see him, you know what I mean? You might strike a conversation at that point, and that might be it for you.
Exactly, and that's what everything that you do. They always say network. Network just not asking somebody for something, because if the shoe was on the other foot, it's like my guy. Like, every time I see you, like I don't want to see you because you always got your hand out. Something is always popping up, and I always got to give, and then nothing is in return. So. Yeah, relationships and networking is like the key to a lot of things. Like, I feel like that's how I even got to this point. Right. Just doing what I normally do. I'm a people person, so I don't mind talking to somebody. Right. I don't mind going and being the center of attention if I have to be, and I don't mind calling somebody. Yo, you want to do lunch? Oh yeah, I'll do it. Sit down, yeah, we'll do it. Email. Yeah, so I don't know why I just did that, but
I'm following your lead now at this point. I don't know where we went just now.
But yeah,
pull out your alter ego. I'm about to bring out Big Ken.
What's up with it?
You can't.
Another question I had to ask though, man. Like, I know if I could sing, I'd be doing some filthy shit. Do you fuck to your own music?
Hey, yo, this nigga, wow.
I would be doing like, listen. That's why God ain't blessed me with a voice, man. I'm telling you right now. Like,
I have messed around to my music.
Is that dope?
It is. But then, like, if you mess around to your music, and then you're not with that person no more, or you don't fuck with them no more, then that song reminds you of that person every time it plays.
But does it work vice versa? Whereas though they remember you every time they hear the song.
I mean, you know, this would be the point where I'd be like, ask them.
So it's like, you know, you get that late night text like, Yatu Sabi just came on. What's up, Kenny? What's good? Like,
I mean, yeah, I get it every now and then. I mean, we about to indulge into my personal life.
People need to know your personal.
I just got out of a relationship.
Okay.
I just got out of a relationship. Almost.
Me too, man. Welcome.
Yeah, the single's weird. It's a weird place.
Single is happiness to me.
How long you been single?
I mean, it's only been about a month, and the relationship wasn't that long. But
did it? I see. Now I'm interviewing you. Did it end bad?
No, it didn't. I don't believe so. I felt like it was. You know, you have to make tough decisions, even though it's the right decision.
Right.
It was more of a mutual decision, but it was a tough one. It's not one that, like, you know, nobody really did each other wrong.
Right.
It just may have not been the right time.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm at too.
So
basically the same shit.
You know, we just parted ways, but I realized after that I don't know. I just felt like myself again, so to speak, and feeling like myself feels good.
Yeah, it does.
Where I can just wake up.
Good
I don't have a responsibility to like call somebody, check on somebody, and just a good morning. Whereas like I really don't feel like saying good morning. I'll talk to you in the afternoon. One of those, but that's just, you know. But
yeah, I'm there now. I'm there now. If anything, I just let music consume me. Once again, just dove all the way into just doing music to the point, right?
Singleness means you should try to work on catching an STD. You need to try your hardest.
Hey,
that's what
this
that means.
man is a wild.
At least you gotta try.
I've never had an STD. Knock on wood. This
you
might
don't
be
know
fake.
What you missing.
I'm good.
I mean,
I am good.
Are you?
I'm good. You probably don't wear condoms, don't you?
You walked in here with a limp.
Never. You tripping. I walked in here with good health.
Kenif walked in here with a limp. I know the STD walk when I see
Hey,
yo.
Nah, I just recently got tested, okay? And I'm cool.
You don't believe in God?
I believe in God.
What you getting tested
but the devil
for?
works too.
Whatever happens is supposed to happen.
Nah, fuck that.
You need to get your faith up, Kenneth.
My faith with God is very strong. You tripping. I take extra precaution because, you know, I might have missed something in a prayer or something like that.
A little STD ain't never killed nobody.
Nah, yeah? What? Boy?
STD ain't never killed nobody.
No, you don't think so?
Mm-mm.
You bugging.
As long as it's curable.
I'm not trying to catch nothing.
Like I said, I don't know how healthy you are walking in.
Very,
like
very, very fucking healthy.
You was a little gimpy. Wasn't he gimpy? Gimpy, right?
No. I'm good. I got a lot on my mind. How much shit I'm about to drop. I don't know about no STDs. Everybody out there, get tested. This man wildin'.
And don't take care of your kids. If you got kids.
Hey yo, you about to have me walk out of here.
I'm an advocate of being for self. Your kids is just gonna hold you back from what you really want in life. You hear me?
You are wildin'. You're wildin'.
Leave your kids right in front of YouTube. It's tutorials on there on how to be a child.
You're lying.
How to be a good child, how to be a bad child. Just press play on one of them. And that'll dictate.
And that's how you raise a serial killer.
No, that's how you raise a Kenif Muse.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It is.
I got raised by a very good mother. You're tripping.
I'm telling you.
She ain't never put me in front of no TV.
YouTube University, man. Teach you anything.
Don't look. You gonna have my mom come up here and kick some ass. She gonna be like, I raised that boy.
I don't want no work with.
Exactly.
With
She crazy.
Muse, man. I don't want no work.
I have a crazy Panamanian lady roll up here. Start speaking all the Spanish.
How can everybody get in contact with you, get in touch with you, find your music? Oh, shit.
I'm just playing. No.
Hit A-Rod.
Hit A-Rod. Hashtag hit A-Rod. Everybody can contact with me. It's spelled the same on every platform.
This is a platform that the people that's listening really don't know how to spell, so you have to. I was going to say.
It's spelled the same everywhere. Kenifmuse. It's on everything. Everything's the same. Everything's the same, you know. And Muse is really my last name.
Yeah,
We're gonna go there.
You gotta be mad specific with my listeners, cause they just like me. We ain't that smart.
You sure you sober?
Yeah, I'm absolutely.
I don't get tested.
Know, tested for what? Listen. Whatever's supposed to happen is gonna happen, and I'm highly favored. You understand? So I'm good.
Oh my God.
I pray a lot.
I'm putting my name on a cup at a party with you. I'm never putting my cup down. Listen. Wake up with a bum bum.
If it's anything that you want the listeners or your fans to get from this interview, what would it be?
Be on the lookout for music. You can go on my SoundCloud right now and stream awesome shit. It's at the top. And yeah, you know, everybody have a blessed life.
Big Kenny dropping soon too.
Yeah, Big Ken. Look out for the Big Ken skits that are about to drop. Shout out to A-Rod.
Appreciate you, man. I'm happy we finally got this shit done. Like, I don't think people know how long this took. This been like a year, like, in the works, especially the last, like, 3 or 4 months, where it just seemed like, hey, yeah, schedule? Yeah, it's cool. Something pop up? Oh, yeah, we'll just reschedule it. So today, we finally got shit done.
Right.
You said you walked outside with a flat tire. The devil was at work. Or God just wanted to see how strong you believed in his ass. That's all.
Yeah, A-Rod pulled up. Shouts out to God and A-Rod.
Right, the real Jesus. You understand? But I'm happy you came through, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Out here, you with the podcast.
You heard?